And of course it's Yeovil, the part-timers from Somerset, with such a proud FA Cup tradition, a record 16 wins over league opponents in the Cup, who carry the greatest hopes. Those odds you see there, beside the teams, by the way, are to win the Cup. Yeovil entertain an Arsenal side, humbled at this stage by Wrexham last season, and without a win in their last 7 Premier League games. Clive Tilsley reports.
Amazing to think that that is where all that history was made.
Yes, across there, that was the famous sloping Yeovil pitch. This is where the giants used to come down and were slain. But in 1990, we made the decision to sell it. We sold it for £2.8 million and went to our brand new stadium down the road.
And how much did you spend on that?
That was our problem, £500,000 more than we got for this one.
When Yeovil sold the sloping site of their romantic past, somewhere en route to their new purpose-built haven, they got their figures wrong. Flat pitch equal flat broke.
Well, a year ago, we weren't dying, we were dead. We were within minutes, virtually, of the receivers coming in. Mistakes had been made, and we won't dwell on that, but we were in an awful position.
We were sort of hours from closing down at various points, and we all shared it, and we spread the burden, and it made it a lot easier for everybody to carry.
I mean, there were some long trips home to Yeovil, aren't there? There must have been some pretty miserable times.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing worse really than going all the way to somewhere like Gateshead and losing 1-0.
When you're not getting paid.
Yeah, and you're not getting paid either, so it just makes it a bit worse.
Over £1 million has been raised, much of it by an Arsenal star of the past, 60s winger Alan Skirton.
We broke all records this year, and that's not without, forget about Arsenal. I mean, we've raised something like 300,000 at non-league level. I think that's, you know, a credit. The fans never cease to amaze me here. I mean, even in the bad time, we're getting 2,000 people through the gates here. They're wonderful, they really are. And I just feel they've got their just rewards with the Arsenal coming. I think that they've waited a long time again for this, and it's happened for them.
Fittingly, it was a goal by a local lad, Neil Coates, in the final minute of a replay at Hereford that landed Yeovil the prize catch of the third round. Coates, a right back on as substitute that night, may just have landed himself the job of marking Anders Limpar. But not before he's delivered his van load of sweets and chocolates. That's his real job.
Whatever happens on Saturday, it's back to work on Monday.
Yeah, back on the lorries, delivering me sweets.
I don't think Anders Limpar will be doing the same to you.
He might do if he loses.
20 years ago, a different generation of Arsenal stars arrived in Yeovil for a third-round FA Cup tie and never looked like losing.
Story. Samuels. Rice moving up outside him. Radford in the middle. In goes Radford! It's there!
George Graham was in the Arsenal team that kept its feet on the famous slope that day and marched on to claim a League and Cup double at the end of the season. Today he returns as manager of a team fumbling for form and still haunted by past calamities.
Stranger things have happened. I mean, I was a member of the side, unfortunately, that played at Peterborough, so I've been in this situation before. Where Arsenal got dumped out 2-1. I don't tell too many people that, but they've been dumped out at York, haven't they, 4 years ago, and of course Wrexham last year. So, I mean, it can happen.
It can happen, but I'm not sure it will. A great bit there of you, Bob. I tell you, then you look as good now as you did then.
Do you know, 1971 that was. It's a good omen for Arsenal because we went on to win the Cup that year.
Yeah, but you were only 35 then, weren't you?
Thank you, Gary. Their chairman then was a man called Norman Burfield. He made a real mistake because he said things like our captain, Frank McClintock, was ancient and our goalkeeper, and was slow to fast balls, whatever that meant. And I've noticed that Brian Moore and Yeovil have played it really low-key this time. It's awkward for Arsenal, isn't it?
It is a difficult one, and they're having a bad run as well, which won't help. But I think that with losing last year to Wrexham, it will just make sure that their attitude's right, and that's what it's usually about. You only usually lose in this round against non-league opposition if you're not quite clued into the game, but I'm sure there will be.